Welcome back. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you what you will be doing in class when you come back with your finished homework. Number one, you'll have all of these three portions of your design finished. The main piece, the stabilizing piece, and the extra hanging shapes that will be part of your Stabile sculpture. And you'll have this design finished so I can look at it and assess whether or not you've understood the concept of balancing all these pieces and whether or not you're ready to cut out the final shapes. Alright, so getting started, let's pretend I've already finished. Here's my main piece, here's my stabilizing piece, and here's the cutout of all my hanging pieces. In class you'll have this. You will have one piece 9 by 9 inches cardboard with a piece of paper. A second 9 by 9 inch cardboard with a second piece of paper, and your 6 by 9 inch piece of paper and cardboard. Alright, I'm going to set almost all of these aside. I'm just going to take this first one to kind of give you the idea of what we're doing. Once I've okayed your design, let's say this one, you're going to draw it on your piece of paper. So let's pretend I'm drawing this on my piece of paper now. I'm going to fold this in half so I can get it symmetrical. I'm going to try my best to copy my design. And with your design, remember you want it to be as wide as possible at the bottom. So this line here should end right at that corner. Okay, then I'm going to cut out this curved piece like I have here so that it looks something like that at the end. Okay, now you're going to bring this to me in class and say, does this look right, Mr. Lundgren, or do I need to change something? If you don't want it to be symmetrical, let's just pretend I want this side to be a zigzag or something, and this side to be like this, and I want it to be asymmetrical. You'll obviously have to cut out both sides separately, but since I'm going for symmetry on this one, I'm going to keep my paper folded, and I'm going to cut out those shapes. So I'm just going to cut this out real quick to give you the idea. Now this is what you're doing in class today because you have your homework finished and you've got that design completed. Alright? This you're doing because I want to make sure you have a good understanding of what your shapes are going to be and how your model is all going to fit together before I start giving you cardboard, because I don't want you to waste a ton of cardboard because it takes a long time for me to cut it out and prepare it and all that, and I don't want to get that piece being wasteful. Now these pieces you can set aside, put them in your folder that we created in our last session, and here is my design. Notice how it goes from corner to corner, top to bottom, and it fills that whole space in. Now that you've got that template designed, cut out, and ready to go, you'll trace it on your piece of cardboard. You'll ask me, Mr. Lundgren, does this design look okay? I'll say, yep, this looks great. You can get started on that. Or I might say, well, it's got this problem or this problem. You'll need to change this, that, and the other thing, and then you'll be ready. And I'll give you some feedback so that when you get started, your model is going to really work out and you won't be completely frustrated by it not working out as you're trying to get it to work. Okay? You take this piece and trace it onto the cardboard piece I've provided you in class. So here's my main piece. Now I'm going to set these two aside and trace the next one. So here's my 9 by 6 piece that I've designed. Remember, I wanted it to be curved up, curved down, curved up, curved down, curved up, and down like that. Notice again, I'm making it as wide as possible so these pieces, these corners are still intact, right? Now I'll take this piece and likewise I'll just cut this out. So that I have these two pieces for my design. Now that I've got this design finished, I'll take this design, the leftovers here, and set it aside in my folder for later. And I'll take this design and trace it onto my cardboard. This will ensure that your design is correctly executed from one piece to the next, and it'll make sure that any of your measurements you've measured are solid and in the right place and the right size. Okay, so there's my stabilizing piece that I've designed. Now I'm going to set that aside. All right, these pieces that I've designed for my sculpture, we'll say I have these, transferring them to my paper sheet. Let's say I've got this oval, I've got my second larger oval, I've got my let's change this around a bit since this is a bit larger. Here's my third oval. Notice how I'm putting these close together so I'm not wasting my cardboard too much. And now I can put my two smaller ovals, 1 and 2. And now I'm going to have this whole area here left over to kind of fudge my pieces with, in the sense of balancing things out. Now these pieces, you might not want to cut each single one of them out. You might just want to take your pencil and trace them, in a sense, by dotting them through your paper, because cutting all of those out might just be a little too time consuming. But if I dot around that and just press gently into my cardboard, you'll see I leave those little dots there, and then I can simply use my pencil to trace over those dots and cut them out. Okay, so the second day of this project is going to be, there you go, is going to be you having your design finished that you've done as your homework, and then tracing them or redesigning them onto your the correct piece of paper, and then tracing them onto your cardboard piece. So it's imperative, meaning really important, that you have your homework done when you get to class. Okay, and that's what's expected of you in class on the second day of our Stabile sculpture.